Why, hello YouTube. This is Balor Mage again, and I got decided to restart in solo self-found today. So what we've done is we decided to do things a little bit differently than normal. For instance, we went Chaos Inoculation, we went CI before we even got to maps in solo self-found on our first character. So this is the absolute first solo self-found character, no other progression, league start, CI before maps. The reason we were able to do this was mostly Faustus. We gambled some gear that gave me basic CI gear, and ta-da, off we go. A few things. One, we're playing Power Siphon again. The Power Siphon Trickster was just way too strong. Damage was amazing. All damage through the campaign from about level 24, 26-ish onwards was just absolutely obliterating everything. It's been like that in maps the whole time as well. I'm now nearly up to 4k energy shield at the end of day 1, which sounds pretty low, but it's still pretty good. So I've been incredibly happy with that. CI before maps has made me feel so much more tanky early than I would ever have imagined. I knew my fizz hit was going to be pretty low. I knew my energy shield pool wasn't going to be as high as we were expecting. A shocking amount of early damage must be coming from chaos damage. So much so that I'm barely dying at all. There's almost no deaths whatsoever. The ores are easier to deal with. Everything has been easy to deal with. So far, I have absolutely loved it. So we're going to be staying in solo self-found for a little while. We don't have any watchstones yet. All of our gear is terrible, but we're going to stay in solo self-found for a little bit and continue on. So let's jump in game and see where we're at. All right, so here is our little trickster man. You can see we're only at 3.8k ES, which is not incredibly high. Somehow death is really low. I did die a few times in the campaign. I've died twice since getting to maps total. But hey, it's been going pretty well. I'm only 32 maps in. My path of building says I have 1.4 million DPS, which seems very high considering the gear I have. Which, if we have a look at it, I have what might be the worst weapon I've worn in a build like this before. That fire damage to spells does nothing. Cold damage flat isn't even what we want. What we want is lightning. It's only tier 3. We're on a bad base because what you really want is a 10% crit base that has a spell damage implicit. Don't have that either. No crit multi, nothing on the suffixes. Just the best weapon I've been able to get so far. So terrible weapon. Relatively okay-ish helmet. 260 energy shield is not really a lot. This is also my only quality piece because I don't have enough stuff to quality things. My chest is pretty low. It's unfortunately got a nice chunky life roll on it that we don't need because we're CI, but this is the best I've got. So on it goes. We're actually wearing the Ignomen gold amulet, which is not super fantastic, but it's not nearly as bad as I thought when I first put it on or when I first dropped it, because nearby enemies are blinded is pretty strong for evasion early. So that's been great. It's got a little bit of flat damage, which I lack damage, accuracy rating, which I need, evasion rating, which I need for a mastery, and just the AoE blind. We put an incredibly cheap anoint on it for just 100 flat accuracy and 10 all res. But the main reason we need this evasion rating is this mastery right here. 20% increased maximum energy shield if both equipped rings have explicit evasion modifiers, which both of mine do, and 40% increased energy shield recharge rate if equipped amulet has an evasion modifier, which this one does. So that recharge rate is great. What else we got here? Real bad pair of boots. Real bad. These are not good boots. Huge life roll on them. Don't need life. CI. No energy shield to speak of. Definitely need to replace them. terrible belt. Absolutely terrible. Need the strength, and that's pretty much all this thing gives. Strength, 1 resistance, 28 energy shield. That's it. Gloves, again, pretty bad. They've got a % energy shield roll. That's it. 2 resistances. We don't need life. We don't need mana. Terrible. Shield, same thing. Pretty bad. Technically, triple energy shield prefix, but as you can see, quite low value. Not quality either. So we're going to get tons more energy shields. We're going to get way tankier. You can also see I've done ascendancies in a little bit of a weird order, because in order to go CI very early, I wanted Spellbreak. Spellbreak is super important. That's where we get all of our recovery from. Without it, I wasn't going to survive. So I've left my ascendancy till last, which will either be Polymath or One Step Ahead. I'm not sure yet. We'll see when I get a offering. As for rings, this one's actually not bad. It's got that evasion that I need. It's got strength that I need. It's got double resistance and energy shield, which is fantastic. I actually want to craft minus mana cost on it, because if I can get -7 mana cost, it'll make my power siphon cost 1 instead of 8, and that'll be way better. For now, using an enduring mana flask. However, and this is the main reason why I've decided to stick it out in solo self-found for a while, I got this ring from Ultimatum on my 2nd map. Bleeding cannot be inflicted on you. Huge corruption. Absolutely massive. But it's so much better than that. Big strength roll, which I need. Flat damage to attacks, which is great. It's got the evasion rating, which I need for the mastery. It's got flat energy shield and an all resist roll. This ring is absolutely disgusting for day 1 solo self-found. That is bonkers. We're probably keeping that on forever. So yeah, there's that. As you can see, I do have 4 utility flasks on, but they're not great. I'm actually not running that clarity at all because I can't afford to. I'm just running Wrath, Discipline, and Grace. That's it. So I can level up my Grace now, so I should keep leveling that. I had run out of decks before. So yeah, that's it. Terrible, terrible, terrible gear. Going fantastically well. So our one biggest problem has been accuracy. So you can even see we've taken a few extra nodes in here, like completed this whole circle that we wouldn't normally do. We've got the accuracy wheel down here. We've started to take these int nodes so that we can get more accuracy, but also we anointed this guy who was incredibly, incredibly cheap. Sepia Amble Teal. I did 1 blighted map and had enough oils for this. 100 flat accuracy, 20% accuracy, 10% elemental resistance. So absolutely fantastically cheap and good. So yeah, this is where we're up to. The goal in solo self-found for me will be completing my Atlas and 4 Watchstones to start with. And then if I'm still having fun, we might farm up to get like a real good build going. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to call this a guide or anything like that, but I do have a path of building with my current like end of day 1 setup in. I alt rolled myself a jewel that I don't even have regals to make rare yet. I will do updates every day or 2 days. Frankly, that's up to you guys. If you want updates every single day just to see how it progresses, we can do that. Otherwise, maybe every 2nd day. But I'll have the path of building linked in the description. That's great. And what I should look at real quick is King's March. Show people where we got to at the end of our first day in King's March, which is not very far. So our smelting is only rank 5. Technically I can upgrade that now, but I'm not going to. Our entire town is only rank 6, which is not great. Well, we do have 9 miners. We don't have incredibly good ones, but they are only rank 4 right now. I will be focusing on that starting tomorrow. And we only have a rank 3 farm, which is not great. We do have a rank 1 boat dude who I'm just not using, and we haven't upgraded anything else in town right now. So Unfortunately, I had to use most of my gold to gamble with Faustus to get the gear to go CI. If I was in a trade league, I wouldn't have needed to do that. I promise every single piece of gear I'm wearing is worth less than a chaos. These are all garbage, except maybe that ring. But everything else, absolute trash. Super easily replaceable in trade. Has gone fantastic. We'll keep everybody updated as we get gear. That is all I have. I will see everybody next time. Goodbye.